Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to add two two-digit numbers not crossing the 10 boundary. I will explain what not crossing the 10 boundary means as we go on. The first thing you're going to need is some concrete resources, a bit like the ones we use in school. We use Deans in school, which have sticks and cubes. So I've just had a look around my house and I've found some lolly sticks that my children have for crafting, and I've opened a packet of Starburst sweets. But any kind of stick that you can find outside in the garden perhaps, and small objects like conkers would be good for this activity. The first thing to do is just make sure the children have a really good understanding of place value. Okay, so I would do that by drawing a place value grid here, and we label it at the top with tens and ones. And just to make sure the children really understand what these objects represent, I would start by writing down a number and getting the children to make that number on the chart. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43. Just making sure, keep repeating, writing out numbers and just getting the children to make them and making sure they have a really good understanding. And point out to them that 43 is 4 tens and 3 ones, and that's why we write it 4 and 3, 4 tens and 3 ones. And just make sure they have a really firm understanding of that. Once you're sure that they have, you can move on to adding up. So I've got another number here. So we're adding up 43 and 22. And what we would teach them to do in school is we would get them to build the first number at the top and then build the second number underneath that. Okay, so I would then get them to count. They could count the objects and write the answer in. So we could 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and we could write down the answer. We can use our objects to help us calculate, and just keep doing that until the children have a full understanding of it. When you think they have done, you can start drawing out calculations. Okay, so we would teach the children to draw the calculation in front of them. So draw 43 at the top with sticks for the tens and dots for the ones. Draw 22 underneath. Now at this point I would probably get them to get into the habit of counting up the ones first and then the tens, and then looking at what the number is, and that will help with their addition later on. So count up the ones: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and saying, oh, that's made 65, and just checking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. But if we get into the habit of doing the ones first, then it helps with the formal method. Once the children have really got this firmly and can draw out their calculations, we move on in school to the formal method. So then we would show the children how to write the numbers one above the other and add up the ones first and add up the tens. Okay, so this is the process we would follow in school, and it's something you could help your children with at home. So start off using objects, making up the two-digit numbers one under the other and adding up their total, and then move on to making a drawing of that and get them into the habit of adding up the ones first and then adding up the tens. And then finally, when they really understand that, you can move on to this abstract but more formal method for adding two-digit numbers. Now, I have said that this is not crossing the 10 boundary, and what that means is that your total in your ones column doesn't go over 10 at the moment, and I will show in another video later on what to do when your total in the ones column does go over 10. Thank you.